18th, 2025 Board of Education meeting. Evan, you want to lead us in the pledge today?
Yeah.
Okay.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First order of business, the approval of minutes from the October meeting. Could I have a motion, please?
Kevin Satani, I'll approve the minutes from October.
Second, second by John. Okay, anyone get in, look them over, any changes, modifications? No? Christine, you're good?
Pardon?
You're good on the
Oh,
minutes?
yeah.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous. I'll turn it over to the superintendent for the recognition awards.
All right, we're going to start off with You Inspire Me. Avi Colello, come on up. So, Avi was nominated by Mrs. Ruffo. Mrs. Ruffo. All about Avi. Avi Colello is a 5th grade student at Veterans School. He has been a part of our community since kindergarten. It has been a joy watching him learn and grow throughout the years. Avi is an excellent student academically. However, he is so much more. He puts forth the highest amount of effort each day, demonstrating our school motto of getting 1% better. Avi is friends with all students. He is a role model to younger students. He is also a role model to adults as we all strive to be better for him. All being said, my favorite part about this young man is that he is never without a smile. Avi, thank you for being that role model for all of us. We can't wait to watch you grow up into a wonderful young man. And Mrs. Ruffo says, when Avi was in kindergarten, he had a little trouble remembering the letter R. We started a little trick to remember, putting a pirate hook with your pointer finger and saying, congratulations. I make a difference. Covington Holland the Fourth, come on up. Also known as Cov. It is with great pride. So this is he was nominated by Principal Dr. Ashley Favello, Moriarty. It is with great pride that I nominate Covington Holland the Fourth for the I Make a Difference Award. This summer, he went above and beyond to ensure that Moriarty School was fully prepared to welcome back teachers and students. Taking on an increased workload, Covington worked tirelessly to make every classroom shine, creating an environment where teachers felt excited and ready to begin the school year. The joy and gratitude expressed by staff as they enter their classrooms is a testament to the care and dedication he brings to our school community. Covington truly makes a difference every day by ensuring we have a safe, clean, and welcoming space to grow and learn. He Is Me Award, Jennifer Scott, come on up. When she came in, she said we kind of matched today. So Jennifer was nominated by Jessica Ben David. I would like to nominate Jennifer Scott for the He Is Me Award. Jennifer is new to her role and has been taking a positive approach to new learning and supporting her students. Jennifer has been flexible in changing her position from an early childhood educator at Moriarty to a preschool special education teacher at Huntington prior to the school year starting. She embraced the challenges of changing buildings and setting up a new classroom for her little learners. Her new class was full of students with diverse needs and challenges. She initiated her learning right away, asking for access and help in learning CT SEDS. Preparing notes and data for her first annual meetings and adapting to her new role. Congratulations, Jennifer. I had to save this one for last because this is the way this was written. It's pretty cool. So this is November Volunteer of the Month. Gigi and Pop Pop. Their real name is Darcy and Dan. Darcy and Dan Flight, but they go by Gigi and Pop Pop. I think we know why, because there's some little kids coming up with that. Hi, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. How are you? Good. Good. All right. Gigi and Pop Pop, or Darcy and Dan Flight, are the grandparents of one of our second grade students at Veterans Elementary. Over the last 2 years, they have managed to quite literally become the adopted grandparents of the 300 students at Veterans Elementary School. It is not a rare sight to see Gigi working closely with a student on his or her math, or Pop Pop lugging his snow cone machine to the next classroom celebration. They treat every veteran staff member and student as though they were their own family. And I think you can tell by the applause. Last year, they graciously donated recess equipment to every classroom to help ensure our students were having fun at recess. Whether it is picture day helper or coming to say hello at our summer block parties, they are just one of us, and we can always feel their love for us in all they do. They wear their veteran swag with pride and dedicate all of themselves to help make our school a great place to learn and work. When I hear Gigi and Pop Up are coming in, I know it's going to be a great day. I know it's going to be a great day for our kiddos who look up to them, love them, and find a sense of calm and security in their presence. Every school deserves their own Gigi and Pop Pop. Veterans Elementary is lucky to have them around. They are certainly making us 1% better. And they were nominated by Nick Federici, Principal at Veterans.
Okay, now we like to get informed by what's happening in our middle schools. So the representatives from Kelly and teachers, if they could come up, please, and give us their reports. You just give your names and your grade, please, and the school you represent. Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Sarah from Kelly Middle School. I'm in 8th grade.
All right.
Kelly Student Council will be going to a leadership conference at the Gardens Theater this week. This inspiring event is designed to empower, connect, and celebrate young leaders from across our region. 4 of our 8th graders attended the CHRO Youth Summit on Social Justice at UConn Law School in Hartford. It was a great experience for all. Our district-wide trunk or treat was a smashing success. We had even more people than last year's event. Several 8th grade students had the opportunity to attend the CIC Student Empowerment Day at Farmington High School. Last week, we held the first quarter pride assemblies to celebrate students who exemplify Kelly values such as respect, responsibility, safety, mindfulness, and kindness. Tomorrow, we will hold our first quarter honor roll ceremony and are excited to celebrate academic excellence.
Great, thank you.
Okay, hello, my name is Marcia and I'm in 7th grade. Some of our 8th graders recently collaborated with Kelly Middle School at the CAS Student Leadership Conference and the Youth Summit at UConn. We look forward to partnering with them again at this week's Leadership Conference in New London. Our TOPS program just wrapped up a successful food drive collecting items to donate to our community. The National Junior Honor Society is currently running a book drive to support our elementary school students. Our student council is hard at work planning the upcoming winter dance Candyland on December 12th. Winter sports tryouts for basketball and cheer begin this week, and we're excited to kick off the season. On December 11th, we will host our annual family paint night alongside our students' art showcase, a great opportunity to celebrate creativity in our school. During parent-teacher conferences, we held a high school information session to help families better understand the transition process. In addition, our 8th graders attended a field trip to NFA last week to see what they had offered to our students. And last but not certainly least, students with the highest attendance rate for the month of November will earn the chance to spray Mr. LaVoy.
We're gonna take a 5-minute break. We'll be out in the hall taking some pictures and we'll come back in. All the recognition award winners could step out in the hall. tell by the total darkness outside, we're now back to standard time. It'll be a few months before we see the sun again at 5:30. It's time to be vigilant as children still might be playing outside on warmer days in the darkness. And be careful as the deer are quite active right now and they won't try to evade your cars. Today is National Princess Day. Almost every little girl dreams of being a princess. Only a couple of Americans have turned that into a reality, most notably Grace Kelly and Meghan Markle. What are some of the best qualities of a princess? Princesses, and princes for that matter, come in all varieties. Some are bold and fashionable, while others like to take action. One might speak eloquently and in many languages, while another prefers to listen quietly to what others have to say. No matter what their style, they're kind and helpful. These are admirable qualities for every child to aspire to and should be celebrated and encouraged in every little heart. It's also the birthday of some notable fictional characters. Mickey Mouse was born today with the release of Steamboat Willie in 1928, and my personal favorite, Calvin and Hobbes, first appeared in newspaper comics in 1985. I'd like to thank the voters of Norwich for turning out in larger than expected numbers for the municipal elections this year. Your wishes have been heard at the polls, and this board will try our hardest to guide your school system for the next 2 years to be successful for our students, parents, staff, and community partners. Norwich also extensively made use of early voting, being the number 4 city in the state on a per capita basis to use this option. All of your Board of Education incumbents were re-elected with the addition of Dennis Slopak, a former BOE member who will fill the seat of Carlene Charmelis, who decided not to run this year. I'd like to thank Carlene for her 6 years of service to the board as board secretary and as a valuable contributing member. Her voice will be missed. She's unable to be here in person due to a prior work commitment. Thank you, Carlene. We will welcome Dennis to this table at the December meeting. Several board members will be attending the annual CAVE CAPS convention this coming weekend to further our knowledge of board operations and to network with other board members across Connecticut. I always learn something new at the convention. I wish all of you a happy Thanksgiving as you gather with family members and ask that you continue to donate to food banks to keep our less fortunate brothers and sisters fed and sheltered in these tough times, even as the lingering effects of the federal shutdown start to lessen. Your contributions to the NPS Loft Food Bank and Adult Education on Hickory Street has been fantastic. Thanks to Yalitza for trying to keep the shelves full to meet the high demand. And thank you all. May the light of the upcoming holiday season spread throughout the year in our hearts and in our actions. And now I turn it over to the superintendent.
Thank you. All right, I'm going to start out with some great news first. The accountability report 24-25 in schools of distinction. So the accountability report was released. I also shared this at general comment yesterday at the city council meeting. We showed significant growth across the district. Our district accountability index increased by a 5.1 point gain. That far exceeds the state's overall 1 point growth. This is a strong reflection of the focused effort of our staff, the hard work of our students, and the support of our Board of Education, and the collaboration taking place across every school in Norwich. Most of the academic indicators measured in the state's accountability system reflect performance in grades 3 through 8. We are excited to see how our K-2 students will perform in the coming years as the impact of our early literacy and foundational math work continue to be strengthened. This is the greatest single year of improvement for NPS in the Accountability Index since the Every Student Succeeds Act system results started in the 2017-2018 school year. I want to mention that also Kelly Middle School and Teachers Memorial Middle School, it's the second consecutive year of improvement. The academic growth for math high needs was our biggest gain, from 47.9% to 56.3% with an 8.4% increase. And in addition to that, 2 of our schools were recognized by the Connecticut State Department of Education as schools of distinction for the 24-25 school year. Veterans Memorial Elementary School for high growth in English language arts among the high need students. That means they're the top 10% of schools in Connecticut for this indicator. Moriarty Elementary School for high growth in mathematics among high need students, which is also top 10% of schools in Connecticut for this indicator. The high need students include those who are economically disadvantaged, English learners, or students with disabilities. The last time Norwich had a school receive this recognition was Uncas Elementary School in 22-23 school year, and before that, Mahan Elementary School in the 2017-18 school year. So I just want to thank the Board of Ed. The improvement really stems from everybody, administrators, teachers, on all their input and collaboration, their advocacy for stronger literacy materials that led to the adoption of our new English language arts curriculum in the 22-23 school year. And since then, more staff members have been engaged in shaping curriculum and instruction across all content areas. So congratulations to Norwich Public Schools.
So comment on that.
Yeah.
That's the work of the administration leadership and the hard work of the teachers and the staff. And the important thing is the word growth, because that's what we work on and talk about all the time. It's not where you begin the race, it's where you finish the race, and it's all about growth and improvement. So that's significant. So congratulations and thank you to the administration, staff, and faculty. Appreciate it.
I'm going to have Corey come up for preschool in a second. Before I do that, I want to just let everyone know, the board know, that we began tours for the elementary schools to discuss the new buildings and have them ask us any questions that they have. We began at Laquanic, I believe, Wednesday. So we'll continue to do that, and it's myself, Jamie, Lisa, Bob, Matt Brown, Matt W. So that anything about technology or just how we're going to be switching routes in our schools when Uncas begins and when Moriarty goes. So if they have any questions, we're going to be there. We started this tour, and we'll be meeting with the entire faculty in the coming months. So the first one went well. Thank you, Sarah. The other thing I want to mention is that right now we are talking about the furniture in the classrooms. So we have the Zoom meetings with our team, and we just had one yesterday, and the special education team was there so that they can pick the furniture that they think is best for their special education areas, and then also MLL and interventionists will be next. So they all have a say in how that furniture is going to look in there. So we're looking forward to that. And I'm going to have Corey come up and just give the pre-K update for everybody who doesn't know. Corey Beckwith is our pre-K principal.
And we do have some samples of the furniture out in the lobby here that
Just for the regular classrooms.
regular classrooms that teachers, administrators can putting comments in on.
Correct. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, good evening. Hopefully you had a chance to see the board report that I submitted, but I wanted to just start with giving you an update on the numbers. So far, we're at 247 students enrolled in preschool. When I wrote this report last week, we enrolled 15 more after that, and I have 15 more on the list today. So it'll soon be up to about 280 students. I broke it down by the slot type that we have allocated to us through the grants that we utilize to fund preschool. So you can see the part day slots. Last year and the year before, there was a big push for families who wanted the part day slots.
end of last year, and now this year, we're seeing a big push for the school day slots. So luckily, we were able to get an additional endowment grant through the Smart Start grant that allowed us to open 2 more classrooms this year, bringing us from 15 preschool classrooms to 17 preschool classrooms, which is leveraging us nicely for the opening of the new schools because we'll have up to 20 classrooms. So the state, I'm sure, will work with us with however much of those 20 we want to fill when we open the new buildings. So we have a constant influx of families who are looking for placement for their children, so it's nice to be able to meet that need. We did open the first Smart Start endowment classroom in October. That was at Moriarty. So now we have a combination of classrooms there. We have the 12-month program and then the 1 school day program. So 5 classrooms altogether over there now. We are opening the second Smart Start endowment classroom. This one will be at Mahan, and the students will be welcomed on December 8th. We've hired a teacher who will be starting December 1st to operate that classroom. So we're able to leverage some existing paraeducator staff with our new teaching staff to operate those classrooms and meet the ratios that we need to meet for preschool. We've started our parent advisory board for preschool, so we're a group of 5 parents or so, and we meet once per month and really just started by establishing our mission, our vision. At the last meeting, we nominated, voted, and assigned people with roles. So we do have a president, a vice president, and a secretary of that group now. And really, it's just to represent the voice of the preschool parent population. So you can hear all of the things that they have concerns about, want to know more about, want more of. And right now, it's really seeming like preschool families want to have more time together. Separate from the older kids focused on preschool type activities. So we'll be sending out some activities that we'll be doing as created by the Parent Advisory Board. We were also able to hire 3 preschool special education building substitutes. Not sure if you already know this, but preschool teachers have a certification that allows them to teach both the general education part of preschool and the special education part, which is great because it allows us to have integrated classrooms, but it adds a few extra layers of work for our teachers. So not only do they have to plan the daily lessons, they have to do the conferences, report cards, they also have to chair PPTs, do assessments, write individualized education plans. It's 2 jobs in one, really. So with the addition of these 3 folks that we've recently added, the teachers will have release time. They have it on a rotating basis based on the number of IEPs they are required to case manage. So if they have 10 IEPs, they get more time than the teacher who might have 4 IEPs. We tried to make it as equitable as possible there. So that's working out great. The folks that we hired have jumped right in and started working right away, getting to know the procedures and the processes of the classroom, the teacher expectations, and how we operate in preschool. They went through an orientation process with our compliance officer, which was very helpful. And they're on the ground running, so that's great. We had professional development. We really focused on training about special education because although their certification includes special education teaching, they don't necessarily get a lot of preparation for that part of their job through their college prep programs. So we do a lot of that in-house, and we did a lot of that at the professional development day that we had just recently. And we also have a host of requirements from the state of Connecticut that we're required to meet annually. So we constantly stay on top of CPR certification, medication administration, health and safety, so that we can eventually accept care for kids to subsidize the cost of preschool for parents who have to pay. So we had a lot of time to complete some of those trainings too, and we'll continue to do that in the next upcoming professional development days too. Let's see, some of the other, there will be some big changes for preschool coming down from the state Department of Education. They're changing they're modifying really the standards that we use where as Common Core applies to kindergarten and above. We focus on the early learning development standards, and those are being revised. So we'll have to do some work to roll that information out to our folks, to parents. So that'll be coming down the line across the rest of the school year. And then the assessment that we use for children entering and exiting special education as preschool students will be changing as well. So we'll have to do some more professional development so teachers know how to conduct the assessments that we need to remain in compliance with the state. Other than that, do you have any questions that I could answer for you?
I just had one query. So where are we as far as the numbers of the kids in the classes right now?
So all of our classrooms, so we have 247, actually it's probably closer to 260-ish right now enrolled in all of our programs. Each classroom holds a certain number of students based on the square footage that we are required to comply with based on the NIAC standards.
So it varies.
So it varies. Our smallest classrooms are a maximum of 11 children, all the way up to 18 children, and everything in between. So it's all based on the square footage.
So the 18 is the head teacher and a para.
2 pairs.
2 paras.
Yeah. And that, a lot of the time, that becomes very helpful because we still have many children entering preschool in diapers. And so our teachers and paraeducators have to maintain ratio in the classroom when they're changing child's diaper, and sometimes that's a 40-minute process in some of our classrooms. So we need to monitor that and make sure.
Yeah, I don't have a question, just an observation, noting that the dual certification for the preschool staff, that helps in doing assessments of the children at the very earliest of age, when we first encounter them, to make sure they're getting the proper help. So I think that's vital in this whole program.
I would agree, and there's a lot it's one thing to administer the assessment, it's another layer to understand how to score. There's a lot of statistics involved and interpretation of all of those results and how it compares with national averages. So there's a lot to it, and our teachers do a great job. They're open to it and feeling much more able to meet that need with the support of the building subs that they have now. So that's been very helpful.
Why do you think the state's fiddling with it? Do they have?
With the standards? Probably, it's been a while. Gosh, I want to say it's been 12 years maybe, so it's time.
Even though we're fairly new to it, new to the
Right.
whole process.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right, any further questions for Corey?
Thank you,
Okay.
Corey.
Great stuff,
Thank you.
Corey, thank you.
Thank you,
Corey. Great work, to say the least.
All right, quick update on the Commissioners Network for Teachers Memorial. Teachers Memorial Middle School continues to make steady progress in the Commissioners Network, most recently highlighted during the Connecticut State Department of Education's visit on November 6th. The state team spent the day engaged in classroom walkthroughs, observing instruction, speaking with staff, and reviewing the school's ongoing improvement efforts. Their feedback affirmed the hard work already underway and provided us with clear next steps to continue strengthening teaching and learning. With a focus on increasing student ownership of their learning and continuing to advance student-centered instructional practices. We are grateful for our staff's commitment, and we look forward to building on this momentum in the months ahead. And as Ed always says, Principal Lavoie, Teachers Memorial is always eager to welcome visitors. The staff takes great pride in showcasing their students and their incredible work happening every day. Thank you, Mr. Lavoie. Okay, I just want to mention, we did start the year with no vacancies. We do have one vacancy right now, that's grade 7 math, but we have a long-term sub in there that's doing very well, so we're happy with that, but that's the one position that we have open. I know that some people were asking on the board, Yulitza sent out the link. It is a live link on the board docs for the online store. So if you want to get any Norwich swag, NPS swag, it's on there. And I'm going to end with introducing Jamie Shelburne, the Associate Director of the Connecticut Association of Boards of Education, to read off some something for us that you came actually have it? I don't know if you have it.
I have it.
You got it? Okay.
Just a quick question, that 8th grade long-term sub, is she lacking something that she can't apply for the job?
I think they're working on a DSAP with her right now, so
Very good,
we're really happy with her.
very good.
Jamie?
Thank you for welcoming me tonight. This is great. You guys had a great board meeting. I like all the positive stuff, great numbers. And I love the community awards. That was really nice. It was
And
great to
Jamie's
see.
also the chair.
So I am the associate director for CABE and I am the board secretary in East Lyme. And I've been on that board since '07, so I'm excited to be here tonight. So I am here to let you know, Susan and I kind of are jumping the gun for you because you'll get your formal notice in March, but we were really excited to let you know ahead of time. But you have received the Bonnie B. Carney Award for Excellence for Educational Communications. There's two criteria. The first criteria is it has to include clarity of message, image, and consistency. Your second is the specific guidelines for readability, editing, graphics, type, format, presentation, design, and value of expenditure. I am happy to inform you that Norwich Public Schools has been given this award for excellence in educational communication for their What's Happening calendar. You will receive your formal award probably around March, and I can come back up and bring it to you. I'll be excited. CABE has been honoring districts with this award since 1975. In 2016, the award was renamed for longtime CABE staff member Bonnie Carney in recognition of her 47 years of dedication to education focused on communications. With this award, CABE's goal is to identify and honor hardworking people in school districts for their continuing effort to communicate effectively. When you go to CABE this weekend, they will be on display in the hallway, the nice long hallway. So congratulations.
That's
We'll get a formal plaque and everything. But we were
Yulitza
kind of,
Brooks, come on up because it's all of Yulitza who did this.
kind of excited to.
Nice job, Yulitza.
Thank you.
We all know how hard Yulitza works, and she did provide you with a packet that kind of explains everything that's in there, so.
But you will get a formal plaque in probably around March, and I'll come up and deliver that.
Jamie, thanks for coming.
But Susan and I were kind of excited to let you know before Thursday.
Thanks, Jamie.
Thank you
Thanks
for
for
coming.
coming.
Friday. I'll see you Friday.
I will see you Friday, yes.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming,
Thanks for coming, it's great.
drive safe.
Thank you.
Now if we could all get on our computers, we'd be really good with communication.
That completes your report.
Yes, I just wanted to know, it's interesting is Jamie is in East Lyme, and that was the last year that I taught in 2007 in East Lyme, and she was on the board. And I've known her for probably 25 years, so I
That's
think
a
it was
long
really cool
time.
that she was able to come in and do that, so.
That's great, congrats, that's awesome.
Do we have anyone signed up for public comment, Amber?
No.
Is there anyone who wishes to speak for public comment? Is there anyone who wishes to speak for public comment? And one more time, is there anyone who wishes to speak for public comment? Hearing none, I now declare public comment closed. Thank you. Moving on to reports of the acting assistant superintendent, Jamie Bender.
Okay, thank you. You were recently sent some math module assessment data to your email for you to review. As you can see, we're seeing similar outcomes with our math in the earlier grades. As you know, as we've been doing over the last couple of years, it's our job as district and school leaders to really look at, the whys behind that. For example, we realized that some of the deficits were related to some gaps in early skills and fluency. So this year, is in response to that, we adopted a new quick program, 15 minutes a day that teachers are embracing to impact that fluency, and we're seeing good results with that. It's a peer-assisted learning model, which has pretty strong evidence as being effective, not just in math, but actually in other types of experiences. But do we still need to unpack what's happening at our upper grade levels? Yep, and we'll continue to do that and dive into that why. I can tell you that Ashley Icorn and myself, along with school leaders, are continuing to attend data teams as the schools are holding them. And we're focusing on looking at grade 1 and grade 6, trying to really understand how we continue to support the positive outcomes that have happened at those grade levels, kindergarten and in 5th grade. And I'll tell you that the principals and the instructional coaches and the teachers are really coming to the table with data at their fingertips, already analyzing what's happening with different assessments, not just with the one-offs, the dibbles, but really coming together and kind of seaming those things together to provide plans with with the performances, the strategies for students individually and collectively. So that's been a continued plan for Ashley and I to be involved in those meetings, and the teams are really doing a great job with that. As Susan mentioned, we did hold our alliance meeting with the State Department officials. We usually meet 3 times a year. This beginning of the year was different, where 7 of their officials came out, did the tour, and got into classes. In addition to what Susan mentioned earlier, we've had some of the same consultants attend walkthroughs previously a couple of years ago, and it was a resounding like, wow, what happened here? It's amazing. The climate and culture has improved so much. Seeing grade level instruction happening in every single class that we walked into. So kudos again to the teams at teachers and Principal Lavoie and his staff for continuing to raise that bar and make us proud. We were also questioned on our resource allocation. I know that the board here has heard from our local constituents about alliance funding and what that can be used for. And it was again reaffirmed that we still need to stick to our goals with how we're improving instruction and related objectives, and ensure that we're making sure that our spending is related to the improvement of academic performance. We're all, it's not the end of November, but we're already planning for our curriculum revision cycles for next summer using our title funding as we have been. While we adjust all areas of curriculum revision, the major curricular work for this year will be in social studies, based upon the 2023 adopted standards. And we are in the beginning stages of exploring self-regulated strategy development, which is an evidence-based instructional framework that kind of teaches students to set their goals, both specific around academics, strategies, and also self-regulation skills, like goal setting and self-monitoring. And we're going to embed that into our social studies framework to improve their performance, particularly in writing. Our plan is to train our coaches and then have 2 teachers at each grade level to help lift up that work. We found that that's a really good model, and that teachers embrace that. So we're looking forward to the social studies programming development in combination with how it connects to our bookworms ELA curriculum. I also attended an information session last week. Much like Mr. Kulo said, when you attend different workshops, there's always something that you come out, learning. And I went to an artificial intelligence pilot program evaluation. I've been kind of eager to hear what, that I knew that there was a pilot with 6 schools across the state, and I'm eager to hear what's the outcome of that. They're still working on it. It should come out relatively soon to be completed in March, but they're about ready to provide tools for best practices, as well as launch a comprehensive PD plan at no cost to school districts. So they've already crafted a list of tools that have been vetted by the State Department. Out of 25 companies that applied to be considered, only 5 were vetted and approved for moving on as a tool that would be recommended. So there's more work to be done there, but Ashley and I are waiting for their recommendations and for what they've gleaned from their pilot program with 6 other districts. We've also met with NFA department heads, and moving forward, there's gonna be some work that's gonna be done with our coaches along with the NFA team to kind of collaborate on having them come here and do some walkthroughs to see how what our instructional day is. We're gonna go there and review what their instructional day is so that we can have some more cohesion in ensuring that there's a better transition for our 8th graders. We also are very curious as to you know, and want to ensure that our 8th graders who are applying to other schools, you know, whether it be tech, usually it's tech, they're, you know, sometimes through that application, they don't get accepted. And so then they're left to then apply to NFA, and by the time that rolls around, some of those courses might be, you know, absorbed, and that's, you know, another frustration. So, you know, you have families that are dealing with, you know, perhaps not successfully getting into a tech school, and then they're slammed again with not getting into courses that they, you know, so desire. So we're gonna work on that path with NFA. We look forward to that, you know, continued collaboration. In January, we're going to, the academic department's gonna be hosting the short-term subcommittee with the intention of reimagining our unified arts programs at the elementary level. We figured it's you know, Susan kind of asked about it. We figured it's a good time to, you know, as our elementary schools start to open, and with that, you know, planning on that process, that transition process, we thought it was a good time to invest in some of that. So we have a team of teachers and administrators that are going to come together and discuss why improvement in the unified arts matters. Share ideas, data that we can get from other districts on scheduling and program offerings, and create a vision to provide a recommendation to Susan in April of 2026. You already see evidence of unified arts and the impact that it has on our community when you attend our art shows, when you attend our concerts, when you see how many of our students are involved in our music programs. So they are an investment, ensuring that we have a well-rounded education for our students. So looking forward to that. And I know that students, families, and community will continue to value that. In fact, one of our student vocalists is going to be singing for the City Hall swearing-in ceremony next month, at the request of our mayor-elect and city council members, so looking forward to that. There's been lots of congratulations today at this Board of Ed meeting, and we continue that congratulations to Tanya Broggins, who's our extended learning coordinator at Teachers, who won a drawing after submitting her drive for quality in the TMS after school program. She selected $1,000 for that program, so that was a nice highlight for an after school network conference that took place last week. Also, last night, I know I have a lot today, but it's all good. Last night, I was able to see our Big Brothers Big Sisters program in action. It's a mentoring program that's been in place at Stanton for the last year. Last night was especially thrilling because they're trying to grow that program, and we had 16 mentors that are interested in the program that came from electric vote. So they're really trying to foster that relationship, and the kids, you know, were built boat models and learning how to weld with you know, crackers and cheese whiz, but also got to experience some virtual reality with welding, and I could just see that you know, the kids that need mentors and the interactions that are present in that session is, you know, unmatched. So we're going to continue to build on that program to the extent possible. Also in your board report, hopefully you saw on another note on other co-curricular happenings, our average daily attendance of our extended learning students and our athletes, how every program, whether it's extended learning or every sport, had an average daily attendance of 95%. And all the programs, except for one, had 90% of the students attending school 90% of the time. Athletics, 100% of the students attending 90% of the time. So there's some data for you folks. You know, it's been really great to see, and the pride that's been instilled. And to conclude my report, we have, I'd like to acknowledge the roots of the Norwich community that continue to run deep in our school community. We're welcoming back DeAndre Williams, who has, you can see here, graduated from Kelly's Middle School in 2014. Here's, we have our fellow PE teacher Ryan Morris with him. Now welcoming him back to become the Kelly Middle School basketball coach. And we're looking forward to that continued mentorship and leadership and demonstrating that, the roots matter here, and there's a lot of pride that exists when you have people that were born and raised here, went to our schools, and then come back and either work here as a para, a teacher, a custodian, and now a basketball coach. So it's a special time, and we're glad that he's returning.
DeAndre's also a paraeducator
Yeah.
in our district, and I've been in staff basketball games with him, and either I want to be on his team, or if I'm not, I just stay out of his way. So
And he's been
very competitive.
working with kids in the community for some time as well.
Great choice.
Yeah.
Great choice.
Questions for me?
Couple comments anyways. Looking at some notes here. The social studies collaboration with NFA is extending across the curriculum, but really important that they're looking at what the tests look like next year, so they get an idea. I think that's really critical. The Amistad experience, you can't replace that, so thank you for that. Unified, there's a couple of collaborations with NFA. Have we looked, Lisa, to collaborating with NFA, with Unified, and what they do?
We did have a unified program here when Mr. Allen was with us. I think that's an opportunity to look for some time to do that work. It's very important and near and dear to my heart, so I'm happy to help in any way.
Yeah, we are having a unified sports program. They just had a meeting, I think, last week. That's what you were meaning.
Yeah, that, and NFA goes beyond the sports. They have the unified social club type of thing, which is, you don't have to be an athlete, so that's something to look at also.
That's a good idea.
I'd love to be invited to that. In addition to that, there are other opportunities like unified recess and those kinds of activities that we can certainly get going here.
Across the board. The STEM Lego program at Mahan Library, how does that work? I mean, I'm excited about that because I have a 6-year-old grandson. I always thought Legos were just blocks you put together. It's way beyond that.
That is, so we have a partnership with, through one of our grants, our CCLC grant, the after school grant that partners with Norwich Youth and Rec. And so they find vendors that are out in the community that offer programs, so that's how that was realized. And they use Legos in a way where, kids are kind of like using it in an engineering way.
Yes, which I thought was great. And last comment about the attendance of kids participating, we're not surprised because we all know that they have that hook to come to school and be in school goes beyond the classroom. So the more we extend those opportunities, the better attendance is going to be. And the Legos and STEM, that's an example of different types of kids. So
and those are the things that can be, offered also, that's the reason for the exploration of the unified arts during the day, and like what do we really want to have that look like for our students? So that
great direction, thank you.
And I'd like to piggyback on that I like that the Boys and Girls Club are working with them and EB, and that's a great collaboration, so awesome.
Yeah, it was the best part. It's been the best part of my year so far. That last night, seeing that,
I've seen
collaboration, the excitement, and the connections, and that EB is a big part of our community, and I think it's growing.
Great.
Jamie, I just had a question that the instruments that veterans in Stanton got through that Horns for Kids, and then the grant from the Knowing Mystic Community Band and everything. How did that all come to be? Who applied for?
I believe Allison B did that one.
Who did it again?
Allison beat one of the music
No, those are through
teachers.
Donors Choose, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mahan.
Well, Mahan's was Donors
Yeah.
Choose, yeah.
And I just wanna thank whoever
Stanton
did
was
it,
for
that's the
Horns for
thing, 'cause
Kids.
that's pretty good to get all those things, new music stands and percussion.
Yep.
And then the donors choose that project, that's awesome.
Yeah, there are some things that, you know, the department coordinators do in tandem with their teachers and in school leaders where they apply for small grants. And get
Make
things
sure they
for
know
families.
that. Thank you.
We do have a thank you process in our department for when we do receive grants, so I'll check in with them to see, you know,
Yeah.
some greater details on that.
Yeah, Jamie, getting back to the math scores. I notice on the graphs, there's quite a dip from the 2nd to 5th grades district-wide. Can some of that be attributed to COVID, or is it just the fact that the concepts are progressively harder?
Well, we can't control COVID right now, so
Right.
we're like moving on, like what are the, you know, gaps that we have in skills? We know that they're there. That's why the you know, addressing the younger grades as early as we can to ensure that we are meeting grade level standards at K-1-2. Not that that's our only focus, but you know, not doing that for years and years, and you know, here we have kids that are missing those skills in trying to learn harder concepts at the same time makes it that much more difficult to perform at grade level.
Yeah, because I see the K and the 1 scores are very high, and then it drops precipitously from 2nd to 5th grade, so that learning gap, you can see it in those cohorts. Okay.
Do you have the number on the McKinney Bento kids or somebody else?
I do not have that. Is it in the
What's going on?
We have that. Amber, where's that report on here? Which one is it? McKinney Bento?
It's usually in, registration report, but I did not,
I didn't see it.
I think registration, we can get that and add it into
I'm
board
just
docs.
curious, you know, hoping that it's low, but.
I don't think it's low based
It's not low.
transportation.
I can look and see what.
I see the transportation cost,
I
but I
know.
don't see the
I
actual
know,
number.
because there's special trips.
Might be able to find it. Keep going and I'm looking for it.
I can see what she has.
It's just.
All right. Any other questions for Jamie? All right, let's move on to the report from Director of Student Services, Dr. Lisa Hughes.
Good evening. Happy to be here this evening to report out for November. And starting us out in this report are 2 of our special programs. I will preface this evening in letting you know that I believe in January you're going to be hearing from the team at Rose City School and the School Resilience Program. We've kind of settled on that month being a good month for them to come by and talk with you specifically about the programs, but I wanted to summarize for you to see where we were as we've started the year and now well into November. You can see our out-of-district placement includes a couple of additional students that were placed already in placement, so that can be challenging, as you know, but that's all included in board docs. I wanted to start with the School Resilience Program right out of the box. We have a really wonderful team there. It is currently we have, in the time I wrote this report, there were 8. I have 9, and we have 10 and 6 students on deck awaiting placement. So we're rolling, and it's really exciting to hear the team talk about some really interesting ways to engage students to come to school, to do those wraparound services, to have our social worker assigned to the program. We have Jack Fields involved, who's just wonderful at relationship building. Our new special educator, Ashley Campbell, who has some really wonderful ideas on how to connect some of the things going on in our transition academy with the school resilience program. Joshua Vanosky and Beth Hanlon have been doing an incredible job of working with this program and developing the staffing there. And we're already seeing strong outcomes for students, and that's the biggest takeaway. So we had anticipated originally around budget time somewhere around $350,000. We're going to come in at a much higher rate than that of savings, which is really exciting. We're already there in the first few months of school. And we look forward to the continued growth in this program. It's really meeting a need that we've anticipated, and it's a structured, collaborative approach for engaging students back to school and get them credit earning, as well as mitigating some outplacements for students who may be struggling in our middle schools. So really pleased with that program. And then our Rose City School program, we're currently serving, right after or right around the Thanksgiving break, we'll be at about 17 students. And so if you think about where we were, and I have to tell you that I was in Oklahoma City, and I was able to present the amazing work this team has done. And I stood there and I said, as a leader, when, we started with 2 students, it was such a leadership stretch for me to say, wow, I have to believe in this team and let them do what they do best. And when you do that and you take that step back, the team just does their work, and they do it in such an amazing way with the support that we've had from Susan and everyone here and all of you, to be able to celebrate that work and see students. And I'm happy to share some other information with you. I was able to talk with parents and ask them, what's important here, and the sense of belonging. So while it's about bringing funds back to the district, it's also about bringing our students back and have them feel that sense of belonging in Norwich, in their community, and matching them up with the resources in our community. So it really has just been a very altering experience from a leadership point of view, but also just watching this work happen. And the people that are doing it are just incredible people. So I really thank everyone involved and all of you for letting us loose and allowing that space. We're getting a lot of interest in our programs. And Thursday I was asked to speak at the Connecticut Bar Association, because we have some advocates interested in our work that we're doing there. So I'm going to go and talk about these programs. I'm super excited about that. And in addition to that, celebrating the work across the district, we are heavily engaged in specially designed instruction. I've always have come to speak about unique learning, and that's not any different this week or this board meeting, but I wanted to share with you some of the work students are doing at the middle school with unique learning systems, and at the elementary level as well. They're learning about their country and government right now and the unique learning system, and you can see some smiling faces there working. We're also piloting a program called Step by Step Math to Mastery. It's a special education intervention program, and that's being piloted at Stanton by one of our wonderful special educators, Liza DeRoche. And she also has a TRP candidate, Mr. Allen, familiar name, Tim Allen, who's working with her as well. So, and right now, the early results from that pilot is that it's looking really good for students, and students are making nice progress. And all of that you can see in the data that Jamie is presenting as well, that students with our most vulnerable populations are starting to really make some progress, and that is because of the students, not only the students, the teachers, and the instruction that they're providing at this level. I also included some of the work that I saw happening at Uncas and Darcy Strauss's classroom with reading. I love popping in there and being part of the reading group, so I'm lucky to catch that when I can. And also at Mahan, working on News to You, which is like a part of Unique Learning System, and it's all current events, and students really enjoy that. I also put in the report some information on our Norwich Transition Academy and some pictures of the wonderful work they're doing. You know, we have some pictures of students at work and in the community. They are very busy. I have their calendar, and I can see all of the places that they're at, and the team there is doing a really wonderful job in connecting students and families to community-based activities and state supports, local resources, and just meaningful opportunities for our young adults. We will be holding an open house and info night later in May, but I like to put that out early so you save the date. In addition to that January time, we're also, Mr. Iovino had a great idea about inviting some area districts to come for some breakfast or a coffee and kind of informational morning or whatnot, and our team at Rose City is working on that, so you'll get an invitation to that, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you have. I should also mention, I always forget to mention our school health report and Laura Dietrich and the wonderful work that nurses are doing in this cold and flu season coming up, and working with our students, and Laura's been building a lot of different systems and doing a really nice job for us, so want to put in a plug for our nurses as well.
What are the numbers at the Transition Academy right now?
33 students.
33.
It's about the highest it's ever been.
I think we've been a little higher than that, but right now it's at 33 students at last count. When I checked Susan's board last.
The board.
The board, the situation board.
Situation.
I was just wondering about the dog therapy thing.
That's
Is
coming
that-
up in the second
You're-
read.
You have that?
It's in the board policy.
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed it.
Second read's tonight.
What is it under?
The second read is tonight under the policies.
Possible action tonight.
Very good.
So the resiliency program's working out well.
Yes.
So it's good that we can keep that in-house. I mean, it's better for the students and it translates directly into dollars saved for.
Yes.
So what, I think I read estimate is 350,000.
That was our original conversation that we had at budget time. We put a place marker in there as like, that was a reasonable consideration. I know Bob will have numbers later on about that, not necessarily, not tonight, but you know, as we continue, but we know that that number will be bigger of savings.
It's doing what it was supposed to do, which is
Correct.
pretty
That's
good,
the more
right?
important part.
And
Most activities
And
are-
keeping
And
students
thriving.
in the district.
Yeah,
That's
that's
great.
the big thing, it's the
Wonderful.
belonging piece, really, right? It's that's the
Absolutely,
piece.
or not being
Yep.
on a school bus either for hours.
It's wonderful.
And just to keep in mind too, we'll be voting at some point in the next few months, is that when I've talked about this before, we're looking once veterans school goes offline. We wanna make that into our Rose City school, in our resilience program and high autism program as well. So keep that in mind that we're going to be doing that and we have to vote on it and then the city council has to vote on it.
Yes, that's another idea brewing about some of the, you know, we have a foundation of all of this programming in district that you know, Jamie had ushered and worked and shepherded that work, and then we're just building off this amazing foundation. And so it makes sense to kind of go and say, you know, we have students with some, you know, high level autism that we might be able to come up with a program here, keep them with us, so.
Thank you.
And then we'll have to have conversations with the legislature too, whether we need funds to renovate.
There might not be too much. I mean, I talked with Josh Pothier, who was at the city council meeting yesterday, and we're looking into some grants to help with that, but there may not be a lot to do with that, but we realize that we're gonna be doing a walkthrough soon with Matt Brown, Bob, and Josh Pothier.
Okay, so we move on to the business administrator, Bob Serpensky. All good news tonight, right, Bob?
Yes, I have no bad news tonight.
Good.
So it's late this afternoon, you received my narrative for my report. I apologize for you getting it to you that late, and I suspect most of you haven't read it, but you don't need to take notes because everything I'm talking about is in there. I left for vacation on November 6th, and the data I wanted to present wasn't available. And I got back this morning at 2 AM, so this is the earliest I could get it to you. So,
No excuse, 2 AM, come on.
in any case, I'll start. As you know, the 24-25 audit has been ongoing, and it's in its final stages now. The audit firm is preparing draft numbers. I know my office is glad it's on the downhill slide, as is Lisa's office, because they ask us for reams of information and data. From a special education grant standpoint, the SEED grant, which was that new grant the legislative body passed this year, they appropriated $60 million for the next 2 years, $30 million each year. The money was allocated to districts based on the ECS formula, so Norwich's allocation is $604,988. We received the first payment at the end of October, which was $151,247. It represents 25% of the grant. We received 25% more in January and the balance in March. This grant's a little bit backwards, however. We know how much money we're getting. Lisa will be responsible for inputting a budget on how we're gonna spend the money. That template will be made available at some point in our electronic grants management system, but as of yet, we haven't done a grant application to say how we're gonna spend the money. And it's extremely important that you spend the money appropriately, because if you misspend, you get penalized in the future, $2 for every dollar of misspending. So Lisa and I are monitoring that very closely, and the only expenses we're charging to that grant now that we have the first payment are the 3 new positions that were added at Rose City School and Resiliency, because we know that those are gonna be covered by the grant. The criteria was new positions for staff hired after July 1st of 2025 that are providing direct educational services to special education students. So we know without a doubt those 3 staff members will qualify. So we're a little anxious because we're gonna have to make the narrative fit the guidelines of the grant, and we're 5 months into the fiscal year and we don't have that information yet. So all we can go by is the legislative plan, which is what we're doing. Last month I talked to you about first student transportation costs being down. We received the October bill and that trend has continued, so I'm pretty happy about that. We have gone through 45 student days of transportation, which is 25% of the year. And at that point, compared to the actual expenses for last year, it's $4,300 less per day. So that is significant. There is one thing that will offset that a little bit. In response to trying to provide better service and lower costs for our van transport, which have increased. We do vans for some regular education students, we're doing McKinney-Vento and all of our outplacements. Lisa was relying on 7 or 8 different private carriers. We're contracted with M&J Bus Company. They're niche, they're a smaller bus company, but they have a fairly large fleet van service. So they're doing all of our outplacements, all of our McKinney-Ventos. So Lisa has some consistency with who to call when these placements come up and she's not scrambling. So we'll see. Right now that services transporting 6 students to Waquanic for regular education that normally we would have had to provide a bus for. So there's a little offset there to the lower bus transportation costs. We actually have a meeting with the general manager from M&J on Thursday to review the billing and see how the process is going. So that's an improvement that we did. So I'm glad with that. So it's 25% going in the right direction, and keep in mind that's compared to last year's actual expense, and the contract went up by 5%. So that could be a significant savings overall to the budget. So we're pretty pleased with that. And the next topic is a big topic. It considers health insurance. As you know, the city, NPU, and NPS are self-insured. We have one insurance broker. And over the last 5 years, Norwich Public Schools has been trending in a very negative position that's affected our budget adversely. So Susan and I have had meetings with the city on an ongoing basis, and last week in October, we met with John Salomone and Josh Pothier, and we now have our own broker. We've hired a firm called Brown & Brown, and I sent you a 20-page packet on who they are, and we're fairly confident that they will come up with a solution to improve our health insurance, not only from a financial standpoint, but also from a benefit standpoint to our employees. Brown & Brown is the largest broker for municipalities and school districts in the state. They have 54 school districts and 37 municipalities. So they have some clout with the insurance carriers, and they know what they're doing. So we're pretty positive that before the start of the next school year, we'll have some type of revision to our insurance program to address our financial issues that we have. December 1st is a big day of finance and special education. That's when Lisa has to turn in the excess costs filing. That's the initial filing, and the state will base our reimbursement based on that filing, and then they'll adjust it again in March based on updated numbers. So that'll be a big indicator on our budget one way and the other. We'll have all the high cost placements, costs gathered together, and we'll be able to make an estimate on our grant reimbursement. So I'm kind of looking forward with not anxiety, but I can't wait to know what that is going to be, because that's a big thing. So I think that's about it. You have any questions? I'd be glad to take them.
So you would have information on that for us for the December meeting, or?
We'll have an estimate, because
Okay.
she has to, the person in Lisa's department's been working on that probably for the last month.
Yes.
It's very involved to collect all the data for all the
Right.
students that qualify. And in round numbers, the threshold is about $100,000.
So what's the reimbursement rate now that the state is?
You don't know.
Said they don't know yet.
Well, what ends up happening is the state allocated a pool of money, and
Right.
it was $181 or $183 million, and last year they added an additional 40 million. So I think it's round numbers, it's 223 million. The reimbursement rate is dependent on every district's submission of expenses.
Right.
Last year, I think we netted out about 76%. So, I mean, our costs are going down in special education because of the efforts Lisa's having. Someone else's might be going up, someone else's. So whatever that whole pool is, it gets divvied up, and that determines your percentage.
But did the state give us a wishful estimate at the start of it, or not?
It's that it can't.
Oh, they
It's-
can't. Okay.
They basically $223 million is gonna be divvied up to every school district based on what they submit for expenses. And the state has no idea what Norwich Public Schools will submit, they don't know what Hartford will submit. And then it gets a little skewed sometimes, because the districts know they can adjust the expenses in March. They just need to get this filing in. So sometimes the December filing isn't as accurate as it could be. And then it gets adjusted downward if say Hartford Public School System didn't submit all of their expenses. And so you think after they do the allocation, we're gonna get 78%, and then Hartford and Wallingford and the big school districts costs increase, well, guess what? We're not getting 78, we might get 74 because the money doesn't go up.
So as hard as we work to lower our expenses, we could get screwed by other districts that
Well,
don't,
it's
that
just-
don't
yeah, it's-
really work as
That's the
hard.
way it works.
Yeah,
And then-
it's like, how are you gonna budget?
And well, then it's doesn't seem fair, but it's math. The district, from a financial standpoint, would be better off having one $240,000 student than three $80,000 students. Because we'll get reimbursement for the $240,000 student, but nothing for the $80,000. So it just depends on your mix, and it's just from a numbers standpoint, that has nothing to do with educating the students. And as far as the seed grant goes, the legislative body approved that money for 2 years. So Susan's superintendent's group and CAVE and the school finance project, they're all lobbying hard to make sure that that money doesn't go away in 2 years. Because if we fund $605,000 in this school year and in the next school year, and the money goes away, well, the people Lisa's hired to run Rose City School and resiliency aren't going away, and where's that money gonna come from? So that's important that everybody work in a proactive way to make sure that that funding does not go, it's not a 2-year deal and then gone.
And we're working with our legislative priorities right now in the CAPS, I'm in that subcommittee, so we're working on that, and we will be submitting it to Senator President Wilson and Senator Austin, so that's on the list.
So I know it's early yet, Bob, we're 25% through the school year, but any big holes that you see, or are we tracking the way we should be?
I don't wanna jinx us, that's why I don't say these things, but this time last year, special education contracted services based on actual expenses and encumbrances were $1 million over budget. Right now, based on, as of today, is $775,000 under budget. So that is just one line of it, and that can swing, big things can go in or out one way or the other.
See, Bob just said that out loud, so now.
So
Yeah, but that's one of the 5 main drivers in our budget, so.
yeah, our latest certified salary forecast, we're trending favorably okay. We're not way under, we're not over, so we shouldn't have any issues there. We have a new substitute service that's tracking okay financially, so, we got
That
those
is the new one
big
doing
pockets,
okay.
and right now if I compared how I feel right now compared to how I felt same time last year, I feel better.
The weather's,
Bob feels
and
good,
the
we all
weather's
feel
holding
good.
out so far.
We're gonna call it the Serpensky Index.
Yeah, so,
The SPI, the
There it is.
Serpensky Pain Index.
so, we're okay right now.
All right, Robert, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Okay, that brings us to new business. First order of business is the first read on the calendar. Any corrections or anything, comments on that, Susan?
Yes, I just wanna state that we have the same 9 middle school early release, it's the same as the current calendar. It's the same day on Wednesday, and this aligns with the Commissioners Network goals of planning PD for staff. October, the only difference on here, we still have in the contract, we still have 6 full professional development days. The only difference that you'll notice is we moved the February professional day to October 9th for this year. And that falls right before a holiday, the holiday on the 12th.
Creates a long weekend, I noticed that.
We did that because we've been looking at the data, and there's a lot of staff call-outs on that day. A lot of weddings that are still, it's still early in
Exactly
the
what I
year,
was
there's a lot of
thinking.
weddings that people are attending, so we thought that would be best to make that professional development day.
It provides an opportunity to have a chance to get away for a period of time, which is difficult for teachers. to do in a cost-effective way.
And it also creates in February, teachers to have a long weekend, because the 15th and 16th is now where the 16th is right now a PD day this year on that Tuesday, but now they have that full long week, so.
January and February can be really chopped up too, depending on the weather. With the number of holidays and days that are off already, it can become really disjointed, so.
And this aligns with NFA's proposed calendar.
We went through with NFA, I talked with Dr. Quinnell, we worked with him, and we're partnering up with some professional development with them as well. So yes, it's so that the buses run.
Right, so it keeps our transportation budget down because it's aligned.
Yeah, cause you look at Norwich Techs too, right? I thought we had started doing that.
We do, they go off of hours, I talked
That's
with the
right.
principal there.
I just noticed it's also an early start this year. You have a full week in before Labor Day. And I think that's gonna be the case, just with Labor Day, because September starts on a Tuesday.
Correct.
Labor Day is very late this year. And it kind of pushed up a number of things just in the numerical. What's the process for approval here? What staff input, or are we gonna see some changes based off of the process?
So I already met with the administration union, and Amber sent this out to the teachers union and asked for feedback, so before the December meeting, if we have any feedback, we'll bring it back to the Board of Education.
Awesome, thank you.
I know we had a couple of adjustments throughout the year.
Well, we just had that middle school one last year, we don't have to do that because we were starting with it right off the bat this year.
And I think there was, because of some weather changes too, I think we had to adjust later in the year too.
June 9th each.
Yeah, that's.
All right,
That's
so-
amazing.
That'd be something.
Yeah,
Well,
that's,
it's June 10th for this year, so.
good. And then I noticed Juneteenth, because it's a Saturday, the observed day is on the Friday.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's the state holiday.
Okay, brings us to unfinished business. So we have updates to existing policies, 4151.6 and 4252.6. Could I have a motion in second on those, please?
I'll make a motion to approve the updates to existing policy 4151.6 and 4252.6, family and medical leave.
Kevin Z. Tanya, I'll second that.
Okay. Any discussion?
Just want to remind everyone, this is revised due to the new Connecticut FMLA that began on October 1st.
Hearing no discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous. Next order is the changes for 4151 point, I'm sorry, I'm reading the wrong line. Approval of policies, 1060, 5146, and 6010. That's 6 or is that an 8?
1060.
Yeah. Okay. Motion and second on those, please.
Motion to approve new policy number 1060, live animals in the classroom. Number 5146, mental health plan for student athletes. And policy number 6010, credit for online courses and hybrid learning.
Any discussion on those?
I just wanna clarify, I know the live animals, like, once they're certified as a emotional support animal, what is our liability if something were to happen?
Legally, the only thing you have to recognize are certified service animals. Companion animals are not included legally. So an emotional support animal is not technically a working animal, and they can be denied. whether it's in housing, education, entering a public building, any of that. Because any animal can be considered a companion animal so I could have an emotional support iguana or spider or something.
Chris, you know Karen Averill, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how this came up, actually. I asked her about coming here, cause she goes to the East Lyme schools.
Yep.
And it's funny because they say miniature horse, one of her dogs is the size of a miniature horse.
Right.
But yeah, cause I'm hoping to have her come here, come to
Yeah, but the law specifically states miniature horse as a service animal.
Oh, I know, I saw.
It's been trained.
It's just funny, cause one of her dogs.
Yeah, I had, my prior dog was a service animal, but I just wanna make sure. So you're saying the emotional?
Emotional support animals
Not,
are not covered legally
alright, service
in any
dog
circumstances,
is liability less.
liability-wise, correct. So we can deny it.
Question on the student athlete mental health program, I'm assuming, Lisa, that would come under your jurisdiction in terms of putting this together? Yes?
Yes.
She's already on it.
Talked about this. Yeah, I think we talked about this already, but yes.
We have our
give you one more thing.
Sydney Brandt working on it, who's our district coordinator for social workers. She's been working on it with Lisa.
So with a guide.
Yes, I know, I just was asking one question.
You know, cause how will they identify the kids? Like, is it through a coach referral or a student actually, of course, speaking up themselves? But, just it could be from anybody then, like anyone who observes that there's something not quite right and that student needs some support.
There'll be training for the coaches. It talks about creation of an access to the mental health services team for the school district, screening and recognizing appropriate referrals for student athletes. So there's a lot in here.
Yeah, that's why I was trying to narrow it down.
Is that a required reporting requirement under YFS rules or? No?
Why, what was that?
Under the Department of Youth and Family Services. Do you know if it's a required reporting or not?
I don't know that.
What would you be reporting?
I'm not sure
What do you mean by required reporting?
Probably not.
There's
no.
nothing that's mandatory about anybody getting services because they've been referred. It's
Right.
just kind of pointing out the best practices for identifying students who you can refer for services.
All right.
And then providing them the opportunity to get those services. And it talks especially about certain things that are happening within your participation in sports that are often triggers for mental health events, and that we should be knowledgeable about those things and making sure we're connecting students when it's appropriate.
They talk about the signs to look for and that the
Right.
coaches will be getting this training. If you look on there, there's a whole list of things to look at that athletes are struggling with, and then they give some specific examples.
And I imagine concussion protocols may fall under this or not.
They have their own thing.
They have their
It's
own.
That's their own.
That was, that was.
And I would envision that this is a comprehensive program, it's just not gonna focus on kids, it's gonna be a general thing for teams and athletes to listen to speakers and hear things about, and then students needing referrals.
And it's become part of the required training for coaches as well,
That's what I
to
was
get
gonna
your
say,
coach
the
certification.
certification process, they probably review all this, right?
Right.
Yeah, it does,
Yeah.
it
That's
does
what
have
I'm
concussion
concerned
as a
about.
trigger.
Otherwise, I
Trigger.
don't know, but they have services.
Yeah, because I imagine those effects can be long lasting and.
For some of us, very long, but just saying.
Well, I know I was dropped on my head as a kid, that explains a lot, but
In the other policy in this group here, the online courses and hybrid learning, I just want to confirm, and I think it's important to say that this is only relative to high school students. This
This
has,
is for the resilience program. That's why we're doing it, because of the resilience program is 6 through 12.
that makes sense, all right.
And there are modules for that for middle school level students, of course, not credit bearing as you would in high school, but some for them in case we need it.
Is that's not spelled out within the policy? Is there somewhere else where it's I just want to make sure that we're passing a policy that reflects what we're doing. Policy refers just to students in grades 9 through 12.
It is for 9 through 12, where our I'm just saying that our resilience program is 6 through 12, so we have to worry about our 9 through 12 kids, because they're in the resilience program as well.
There are kids, okay, but it's only, all right, that's,
It's only for 9 through 12.
that's what I wanted to clarify.
yes.
So it's for 9 through 12 students, not middle school students.
Correct.
But they are our students within the resilience program.
It's right in there, yeah.
I was just saying that our program's 6 through 12, so we have to worry about our 9 through
Alright.
12 kids.
All right.
So the middle school students aren't covered by this policy?
Correct.
Okay,
Thank you for clarifying.
all right, we have a motion and second on the floor. Are we done with discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, it is unanimous. On to committee reports. Negotiations, next negotiations will be with custodians, and that's to be determined in the spring.
We're looking at February dates right now. Amber's working with our legal team to see if we can start it in about February, middle of
Right.
February.
Next, school building. Want to give a slight update?
As far as I know, there isn't anything. Tonight's our meeting, so we're missing that for this.
Right.
But I don't remember anything really
Well,
new.
we
Go
did hire the architect for the teachers in
Yeah, that was
Huntington
last-
project,
Oh, that's right, we met before that meeting last
Right.
month, that's right.
and that was DRA.
Same.
So we kept with DRA, and now we have an RFP out for construction company for that project. What else?
If you drive by Stanton at nighttime, it's pretty cool. See
Progress
all the
there is
lights in
really
the back, it's all the
Yeah,
new
the-
structure.
The progress is impressive.
Yeah, the decking, the roof is being put on, some of the outside sheathing and window and door openings are going up. I think they've poured the slabs for AB, and I think the C building also,
No, Carolina knows.
Walk back there lately, so I would assume so.
C is still to be done. Okay. And as far as the Greenville, I believe the blasting is over, but they're still doing some rock drilling and they're setting out footings already for the steel work, which should be coming shortly.
Bob, did you say something?
Yeah, one thing that's gonna become, I have to have a new board policy, as you know, 20% of the parking spaces have to be EV spots.
Correct.
So that, that's gonna be 16 spots at Stanton and basically at each school. We're gonna have to do an RFP with the city to find a third-party contractor such as ChargePoint to manage the charging stations, what's gonna happen when they break, who's gonna pay for the electricity, we're gonna have to work with them to use. So that's gonna be a big thing that we're gonna have to be going out to RFP before the spring done.
And it may
And it'll
require,
have to be policed because you can't park a non-EV electric car in an EV parking station,
right,
parking space. And they'll be close to the building too.
and it may also
100%.
may result in an MOU with teachers and administrators or all staff as to who can use those and.
No, they'll be public spaces, I think. So we'll have to address a lot of things.
And whether or not it may be part of their contract, if, I don't know,
Probably.
probably not.
No, but there could be people that are using it on the weekends, so there's a lot to this.
Yeah,
Even during
what
the
if
school
the
day.
neighbors are, what if the neighbors are up there?
That was a state law that was passed that any new public buildings, including school construction, has to have 20% of the parking capacity be EV stations.
And then as discussed before, the FFE, the furniture, they're already doing selections on that. And I know there've been discussions on colors and tile choices and all of that's starting to come through, so. Hey, Stanton should be ready, everything's on schedule for next fall to open. So keep the fingers crossed.
Not next fall.
I mean, it's August, yeah.
August.
Well,
Don't
next,
say that, you're just making Carolina nervous. August.
well, we're in 25, next fall is 26.
Right, but
Yeah.
let's hope it doesn't go into
Yeah,
September,
yeah,
October.
August,
Yeah.
well, summer.
Yeah.
August is still summer, yeah, okay. Policy, that meeting was put off till December 1st.
Give Maria the night off if you want. She works so hard already.
Anything further to add on policy, Kevin?
Nope.
All right.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi, Maria.
Greg, you wanna give a quick update on transportation or?
Yeah, sure. So we met, and the only thing that we really discussed was the administrative regulations which have been updated. Really based off of the input that we received and folks sitting down to think about, how to put things together to emphasize consistency and safety with everything that we do. So there are some policies and regulations that have been in effect that have just been really tightened up, and there's some new stuff here as well. So the student pickup and drop-off location must be the same every day. That's been clarified and made clear within the administrative regulations. If a student's enrolled outside of the designated school zone, then there's a process that they have to follow with the registration office to be approved to get transportation, and that's done on a yearly basis. Kind of reiterated what was there with our joint custody agreements for students that have two different locations where they may be picked up or dropped off. Same thing with transportation to a daycare or childcare provider. And then the thing I really want to focus on is the section on addressing safety concerns. That if a parent or guardian has a safety concern, then the transportation director is the first person to check out that concern in the bus stop with the transportation company. If the stop is deemed safe and the parent or guardian is not satisfied with the decision, then the business administration, administrator, and or the Norwich Police Department will check on the stop for safety concerns and report their findings directly to the parent or guardian. The district is pledging that we are going to continuously monitor all of our established bus stops for safety and accessibility, and this includes regular evaluations to assess traffic patterns, visibility, lighting, accessibility, changes that might happen seasonally or as the year go by to make sure that we're checking that these stops are still safe. Collaboration with local law enforcement to identify and address emerging safety concerns. Reviewing incident reports and getting feedback from the drivers to determine if adjustments need to be made, and periodic communications with parents and guardians regarding any changes to bus stop assignments or safety recommendations. The transportation coordinator has been always open to hearing any concerns from parents and guardians and making sure that she is responsive and that we are following our process to make sure that we are consistently ensuring safety with our transportation. And that's going to continue, and these administrative regulations help to specifically spell out how we're going to do that.
Okay. Maria, anything to add?
Oh no, did we lose her?
Hello?
We called her up and that's what we had discussed last week, was just going over these administrative regulations and
Bob, you had something to add?
About 3 weeks ago, Susan, Jamie, and myself met with the police department. We met with the captain and
Captain Lazaro
2 or 3 other police officers.
and the SROs, Captain Lazaro and the SROs.
Yeah, they will provide, if we have a request for traffic data, accident data, number of vehicles, they'll provide us the data that we ask for, and if they see trends happening, in turn, they will be proactive and provide us with information as part of the constant monitoring.
I think one of the big things about that, sorry Christine, real quick, is that if there's construction, they're gonna let us know. If there's any construction going on and then that adds safety to another street or road because of a detour, they're going to let us know and give us the heads up, and they're going to talk with Maria to see if we need to change bus stops based on construction or detours.
Yeah,
Bob, how do you feel about being one of the people that deems the spots stop safe or not though? How do you feel about that?
About which one?
That being one of the, either you, it says, or the police
Oh,
department
I do
check
that.
this. I know you
I
have
do it on a
it,
routine basis.
but I mean, do you feel that it should be in print?
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with that. I mean,
Yeah.
the stops are reviewed. I do a bullet point thing saying I went to the stop. I walked the distance, it took me 2 minutes.
Yeah.
It's low traffic, it's an in and out residential, it's not a road that goes someplace, and it's just a factual thing, and it's either.
That's something that's not unique to Norwich. There's a lot of the business administrators are the ones that are tasked with it.
I'm just wondering if, cause he might not know, like if a parent's concerned about if there's a pedophile that lives close by or something like that.
The police do, and if it comes to
No,
us,
I
then
know,
we
that's
talk to
what
the
I'm
police.
saying, if
Yeah.
he wants to have that responsibility.
If there's I would assume, I don't wanna speak for you, if there's a direct conversation that you have with a parent and those types of concerns are brought up, then we
Well,
would-
that's what I
we
mean,
refer
he'll
that
have to take the time to check with the police and then, it's just the time element, that's what I'm concerned about, so I know he's a very busy man. And
Get to tour
so I
Norwich
just wanna
at
make
times.
sure you're comfortable
Yeah, I've
with
never
that.
been down this street before.
Yeah.
Maria, are you on the line?
I just heard her.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
think she can hear you. Maria?
Maria,
She's there. She.
I don't know why she can't hear us. I think she was on before, but I don't know, is there another button there to press so that we can have a two-way?
I don't think she can
I
hear
don't
us.
think she's hearing us.
I'm here now, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, can you hear us?
I can hear you, you're a little muffled, but I can hear you.
Okay.
All right, do you have anything to add, Maria?
I do not, I think it's November and it was finally quiet and, I think the budget, the transportation shows that the amount of work was put in was worth it.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for all your work.
And nobody was here to complain tonight, so that's a good sign.
Very good sign, you know. I think finally you're accepting that door-to-door is not an option anymore.
Right.
Exactly.
And from your report, I guess you're prepping for the winter buses now, right?
Yeah, we've already received a list from NFA. Teacher and I have gone through it. We've taken out those that are still walkers, because there's some that are very close. And we have begun a very small amount of routing just to see how many buses we will need. I'm praying we can keep it to 2.
All right.
That's how many we had last year, correct? 2? Was it 2 or 3?
Yeah.
It was 2, yep, okay.
Especially depending on how much bad weather we get, if there's gonna be huge snow drifts or whatever. You
Yeah,
know.
well, I think that's what they have for the evening buses. I think there's 2 buses.
One thing that's been clear in all these bus stop reviews is making sure we get all the facts, because when the complaint comes in, you really have to dig into the
You gotta vet it.
details, like, well, the bus goes right by. Well, that was a pre-K bus that's picking up pre-K students, so yes, it does go right by, but that's not the bus
Not
that
the
would
right bus,
put
yeah.
your student on, so why can't this bus go by? So there's a lot of fact finding.
And I noticed that we've also included public works into the possibility of evaluating a stop. Some people have trouble with limbs hanging over things in bushes, taking turns around the corner where kids are standing. Correct. Yes, right.
Yeah.
Unless if there's construction or
Right.
something like that.
Yeah, well, I know there's a city or gas line a water or gas line replacement going on through the city, so.
Turnabouts.
Oh, and yeah, well, the turnabouts is a whole different system.
Oh, God, yeah, 'cause people are gonna be zooming down side streets.
Public utilities and public works has been very cooperative. We had a case this year, I don't remember which it was, can the bus get through? Susan called, which one did you call, NPU or NPW?
NPU.
Yeah, and the director went right out there, and yep, buses can
He
get through.
went right out there and took
Not a
care of it.
problem, he went out instantaneously.
Spot on.
Well, I know a lot of that work that was on Asylum Street, that took place over the summer, so. All right, Maria, I think we're all set. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you so
you.
much. Enjoy your night.
Thank you.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Thanks for putting my stuff back to back to back here.
Yes.
In the. in the,
All right, Greg, IDCS.
All right, so I don't have a lot for IDCS because their meeting is tomorrow. I just know from just some connections with the school that they are pushing for a grant to expand the Mason House project. It's a building that's right next to the IDCS building. So they purchased that building. They had a brownfield grant to do some renovation and making it safe. And now what they're looking to do is get some money to be able to turn it into classrooms, recreation space, to allow them to expand and take on more students. So they're in the process of trying to get approval for that right now. Next Tuesday is their annual Caring and Sharing and Bread Feast, which is a really cool event that starts, well, it goes on all day. The Bread Feast is at the end of what's an early release day. So that's usually around 10:30 or so that begins, but the morning is just full of students and volunteers doing all types of activities to help and support the community in many different ways. And it's the kickoff also to, with it being the holiday season, to a number of charitable and service learning activities that classrooms are doing. I don't have much to report on beyond that. They have their board meeting tomorrow night, and I haven't been in contact with the director since last month's meeting.
I know they sent me a sample letter for support for the Mason House, and I don't know if they sent you one too, Susan. No, okay, it's probably just me.
So essentially, Ellen, that's her name. So she's encouraging anyone who supports the school and the project to submit their own personalized letter in support of the grant.
She is the business administrator now, was the former director of the school, and now she's the business administrator. And she's this is her project in a lot of ways.
All right, Learn?
The Learn meeting was very discussion based. You had, where's my notes on that? The Connecticut Association of Boards of Education Director, Patrice McCarthy, was there, sharing a number of legislative updates and hot button issues. The discussion highlighted some challenges going on within Learn schools that many districts are facing in terms of AI integration, special education services and costs, and the admission process for tech schools. And really, I guess just in a summary sense, the need for best practices related to these things, district sharing resources, and innovation is really what Learn is looking at, wanting to create and be able to do to help with those challenges. There was also a significant discussion about human resources and the processes they're taking to be able to fill their positions and vacancies. They've changed the platforms that they're using to recruit, and have found that they are getting more applicants and more qualified applicants, and they have fewer vacancies than they had this time a year ago. I just got the kind of summary report from them, I believe yesterday, so Amber, I can send that to you just so you have the summary report that they provide for reporting on to boards. And yeah, that's it, if there's not any questions.
Okay.
What was the comment about tech school admissions, what was?
Really, it's about the equity and fairness in the process for how they're deciding, who is admitted to tech schools or not. That's been changed. I'm not an expert on this, but I know it's been changed a few times over recent years. And I don't know if there's ever ability to make it perfect, but there's still some issues and some complaints with how that's
There's
going.
For the obvious shifts, right?
It's basically a lottery now for the tech schools.
Yeah.
Mostly, yeah.
Yeah, they don't really look at students, like I have a student that I knew was like relevant for the 8th grade class and he didn't get in, you know what I mean, and then there's, it's very different,
Well, they
how
put
they
it all
do it.
under the state umbrella, and they have basically a dean now that handles
Yeah.
all the tech schools throughout the state,
It
so
is, yeah, there's very little,
there's very little
individual
independence
school,
per school anymore.
yeah, input, yeah.
And obviously there's two sides to it, one, if you do a lottery, then it's fair or equal, but it doesn't really factor in need, desire, necessity, anything like that, and so
Good fit.
you don't wanna not discount people because they don't meet a certain criteria, but at the same time, it does make, and that's what the discussion was, it does make sense to consider individual circumstances. So we'll see what happens, that's gonna be at a state level.
It's hard to give a kid a circular saw if they're not gonna. And then you figure out how much added staff and all the workstations they have to add in. And I don't think the state wants to get involved in all that, but.
Alright, so we're done with that. John, anything on Otis?
Otis Festival is this Saturday, 9 to 3 at the Otis Library. Great fun, it's a great afternoon, great day. Santa Claus will be there, that's Santa Claus going. It's a big fundraiser for the library and it's a great community event, so please come and attend.
Wait, what are the hours again?
9 to 3.
I remember seeing a sign, but then
They'll have celebrity parking like we always do, or there should be some Norwich Public Schools, I'm usually there, but I'm presenting at the Cape Conference Saturday.
Yeah, probably wait at noontime to park your cars.
They did ask all of us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Saturday morning.
Right.
Too. Okay, the NFA liaison, that's me. Besides their usual concerns with declining enrollment, they were talking about capturing more of the NPS students who decided to go to other schools besides NFA. They have several major projects in the pipeline. First is to remodel the cafeteria, turn it more into sort of a college food court kind of example. Also to redo Slater Auditorium, redo the stage and new seating. I don't know if they're gonna, part of that is to still keep the poles in there or not, the support poles.
Wanna keep the building up there, Will.
I suppose.
Yeah, but you lose that. Not just aesthetically, but it's later.
Right.
It's like to
Yeah.
run, I can understand them wanting, new sound system and all that kind of thing, which has been updated several times, but I mean, you changing that interior, it's just so distinctive.
Yeah.
It's like the guard,
Yeah.
You change the guard.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Right. And then the other project is they're still in negotiations with Park Church to take over the Osgood House, the parish house there, and turn that into dormitories for international students. I think they said something like they could probably house like 18 students and then have house masters there. So that would be ideal for them, because then the students could just walk right across the street to school. The last thing is
A couple comments on that, on the project, Mark, if you don't mind.
yeah, go ahead.
The Slater Auditorium is a foundation project for 1.5 million that they've raised.
How much is it, John?
1.5, and they've raised 1.3 to this point, so that's totally privately funded. The NFA did receive a state capital improvement grant, thanks to Kathy Austin Durrell and legislators of $6-point-something million that is going to redo the turf field, the track, gonna add restrooms to the concession stand, so now people won't have to go to the woods or get lost wherever they go into the buildings, which makes sense. To expand all of that, and the cafeteria is long overdue, should I say it that way? So it's gonna be redone. And one thing about Slater is I asked a question to please don't change the heating system, because part of the tradition in NFA is when the heat goes on, the pipes clang, so we don't wanna lose that.
Because they don't they don't train it properly.
Whatever it is, don't lose it.
But you mentioned the bathrooms and everything outside, because when they built the brick garage, you know, that's in the new parking section next to Bradlaugh there.
Maintenance.
It's too bad they didn't.
Well, it's a long story.
Think, yeah.
They thought, but
Right.
it didn't come out, but.
It's like,
Well, I
just
don't
like
know
when
if-
they built the new alumni hall, and they said, why didn't they put a pool in, right?
Save a nickel.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know if the heating in Slater, if that's steam or steam will knock.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, we drain ours, they don't knock. We have gas powered steam heat. If you drain them.
You can't drain steam, there's nothing in the pipe.
It's the water. If
There's
you-
no water in steam.
Yes, there is.
No, there isn't.
That's what goes through our radiators.
No, steam is steam. Steam is a small boiler and then turns to steam. And then it returns back to the
We have
furnace.
radiators that hot water goes through.
Well, that's hot water, that's different than steam.
Oh, okay. So I'm always thinking it's steam based, cause it's the steam that
No.
heats up. But ours do knock if you don't clean them out.
Right, yeah,
You have to drain that boiler.
right.
So I wonder which kind NFA does that.
I don't know that answer.
I mean, originally when that was built, they probably had a gravity fed steam
right.
system.
And they replaced all that when they did the addition, they took out the old
Yeah.
oil, right? That was a big thing, getting out breaking it up and getting it out.
Yeah, but to change steam piping it's a huge project. You'd have to rip out the guts of that building to change that.
We always call ours gas powered steam heat, that's what we always refer to our heat as.
You probably have a hot water system.
You got me, now we have a hot water tank, so we probably do, Mark.
What do we
All
got
right,
next?
let's get the
Next on the
And
agenda.
the final thing is the foundation, we're looking for the project's always looking for volunteers, planning for grants to help teachers in the spring. And also to put money aside for our $10,000, I think we're halfway there, to put it into a foundation which will return money to us every year so that we don't have to go hunting for money every year. Additional attachments, the Bob's year-to-date budget, the personnel report and enrollment reports are included in the thing. Which brings us to the motion to adjourn.
Anybody?
A motion to adjourn.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, unanimous, we are adjourned.
Alright.
7:47.
Shortest one in.
I need a little bit of help with the password thing before we go.